Hey folks, welcome back to Dub Africa. This is Chris once again. Well, once again for another predictive segment. What am I talking about specifically? I've been talking about this for several weeks on my live streams, but I felt it was time to put this down as a record for a video for future so that you're all aware of this. As I said, with the vile left, political left, people full of rage and hatred, the same ones who looted and burned our cities last summer in 2020 in an actual armed insurrection in which governors, mayors, and police, National Guard stood idly by for the most part, allowing our country to be overtaken by violent, hate-filled, rage-filled leftists as they looted and burned billions of dollars, killed nearly 70 Americans in their fraudulent narrative and hate-filled actions, as well as an insurrection that turned into secession. That's right, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone in Seattle, the criminal, seditious secession attempt by leftist thugs who broke away from the United States. Yet none of these people have been charged or convicted of a single crime of treason against the United States or anything else. There's lots of witnesses to it. So what am I talking about today? Well, specifically today, what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is that with the universities, public education, and primary and secondary school, media, technology companies, and now all three branches of the federal government subsumed by the left. Now, when I say subsumed by the left, you're going to say, what are you talking about? Democrats have controlled the House, the Senate, and the executive branch in the past. That's true. But they've never had the wild oats of the bizarre leftists surging through their veins as they do at the moment. So what are they going to do? Well, this video is specifically about what they've already started doing, and I've been predicting for a few months now. It's already begun. Headlines: National Guardsmen can't be trusted. They must be vetted. Newsflash, they have been vetted. They took an oath to support and defend the Constitution, each and every guardsman. And they all had records checks in order to join the military. So be gone. Fotsek, piss off with your nonsense. Loyalty is beyond reproach. Aha, you say, but 12 guardsmen have been dismissed. Do you honestly think we can trust anything that's coming from our government these days? What were they dismissed for? What was the basis of it? The fact that maybe one of them bought a flag from Amazon at some time? Or maybe one of them did something else? Now, perhaps there are legitimate reasons to dismiss members of the Guard, but this is the function and responsibility of a local unit and a commander, not of the Federal Bureau of Incompetence, the same organization that spies on Americans unlawfully, violating our constitutional rights and the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Yeah, hardly an organization to be trusted. How about vetting these members of Congress, these repulsive swamp creatures who stand up and call for socialism, communism, and denigrate the very nation that they swear to support and defend? It's already started, folks. I told you that it would start with veterans. They've already started with veterans. And why? On the 6th of January, when 3 dozen criminal trespassers broke into an undefended Capitol building and rampaged, running around like a bunch of loons, without any weapons, mind you, without any weapons in the Capitol, along with about 70 to 90 fools who walked into the Capitol building when the police welcomed them and allowed them to enter the building. On the basis of that false pretext, the media, the left, and the political slime balls in Congress are already running around with all kinds of nonsense, claiming that, ooh, the military, veterans are responsible for this. Yes, no doubt there were people who served in uniform who were present that day. That is no reflection on the military, no reflection on the system military. It's also no reflection on veterans. If we arrest all the leftist pedophiles, does that mean all leftists are pedophiles? No. Does it mean even a majority of leftists are pedophiles? No. It means a small minority of leftists are pedophiles. Yes, there are pedophiles on the right too. Let's be straight about that. But the point is, you cannot simply make someone guilty by association, particularly when there's no association. The 500,000 Americans who patriotically, proudly, lawfully assembled outside the steps of the Capitol building on the 6th of January are not associated with the criminal invaders who broke into the Capitol building, which was left undefended, strangely, by the Capitol Police and by the D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, who refused assistance from the Pentagon and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But the denigration of veterans started before then, and it will continue. Veterans will be maligned. We will see the VA lose funding most likely, or be allowed to be led by leaders who are more concerned about political correctness than the welfare and care of the veterans in their charge. We'll also see endless stories. We saw it already. CNN has already started with their nonsense. Military has long been a concern. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. You didn't say that the Muslim major committed terrorism at Fort Hood. In fact, it was called a workplace incident by the corrupt Obama administration instead of called what it was, terrorism, by an actual member in uniform who turned against his brothers in arms. Not the first time it's happened. It won't be the last time it's happened. But they will denigrate the military and the veterans because that's what they do. That's absolutely what they do, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they do. And they're going to do it. Why? Because they've destroyed every other segment of society. They've polluted the media. They've turned journalism into yellow journalism. Donald Trump can call it fake news all he wants. It's yellow journalism. It's fraud. It's biased. It's op-ed. It's disgusting op-ed based on no facts, usually, disguised as news. Across the spectrum. It's hard to find a legitimate news source that doesn't get biased one way or the other. They have corrupted our schools. Children don't even understand what the Electoral College is, how this country was founded, what has happened in this country, the process of amendments to the Constitution. They have absolutely no concept. People grow up in this country now the way they do in many parts of Africa and the developing world, thinking that the king or the president or the prime minister is all powerful and can do whatever they want. No, you can't in this federal republic, although we've had many presidents try. The military will be denigrated on a daily basis, and it's already happening. A political loyalty test by members of the National Guard, a repulsive, vile action. And the Department of Defense ought to be disgraced. Those in the Department of Defense in the waning days of the Trump administration ought to be ashamed of themselves for submitting to this process. That's up to local commanders, not to you clowns sitting in the Pentagon. Wow. It's certainly not up to the FBI. How about we investigate members of Congress? In addition to this, what else are they doing? Well, we see people like Tennessee's Representative Steve Cohen, a lifelong teat-sucking leech off the public. Only held a real job for about 3 years. Yes, he had a law practice, but he was serving in Congress in Tennessee in the Senate. Been in government since 1978. This lifelong leech on society, this boil on the ass of society, Representative Steve Cohen, questioned the loyalty of the National Guardsmen with fraudulent political nonsense. Very dangerous speech to question the loyalty of law enforcement or the military on the basis of nothing. Well, let's see, 90% of the Guard is male. Yeah, how's that germane? And only 20% of white males voted for Biden. Okay, so 20% of white males are pretty stupid. Thank you for establishing that fact, assuming that's true. That means that 75% of the people in the Guard voted for Trump and can't be trusted. How do you know they even voted? Only 60% of the population bothered to vote, you doofus. This sort of behavior will continue unabated. The left will sow their oats. The most trusted institution in American public life is the U.S. military. And with good reason. We've earned it. We've earned it. Endlessly. Being sent to foreign shores to execute wars by politicians like George Bush, Bill Clinton, and Barack Hussein Obama for their own grandification and their claims of our national security. Tens of thousands maimed, others never coming back. Post-traumatic stress disorder, family separations, divorces, missing births of children, death of parents, and so on. Sacrifice after sacrifice after sacrifice. For what? Compensation and respect for the rule of law. But respect for the rule of law disappeared in this country during the Trump administration. Not because of Trump, but because of the left. Their disdain for the rule of law is patently obvious. And their disdain for the last institution that they have not corrupted is also patently obvious. The left will seek at every turn to use the fraudulent media to paint stories about active military, reserve, and veterans in a negative light. And you, the people, many of you, millions of you, suckers, will fall for it because you lack critical thinking skills and the ability to question the narrative when it's so obviously wrong. Well, that wasn't meant as an insult to my viewers. It's not. That's for the people out there who will fall for it. I don't think people watching this channel will actually fall for it. Folks, if you're not a subscriber to Chris White Africa, take a moment, become a subscriber, smash the like button. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, you heard it here first. I told you in January 2021, the left will now go on a war against the military to destroy our reputation, undermine the confidence in our military and in veterans. We will become ostracized each and every day moving forward.